is Democratic Senator Alex Padilla of California. Senator Padilla, what is in the bill that Donald Trump is refusing to sign that's going to become law anyway, even if he doesn't sign it?
Well, Lawrence, like you said, bipartisan, bicameral, first major piece of housing legislation in decades. And here's all you need to know. As if we needed more proof that Donald Trump does not care about you. He does not care about working families. So instead of signing this bill into law, which will provide, among other things, additional resources and flexibility for local governments to invest in new housing construction, he's threatened to not sign the bill because he's still fixated on the SAVE Act, which is more than just a voter ID bill. It's a voter disenfranchisement bill. The bottom line is this: he doesn't want to help lower costs, not for housing, not for groceries, not for health care, not for energy. His war in Iran is an absolute failure. Instead of paying attention to that, the only way he can try to hold on to power is to rig the November elections before they even begin. That's what this SAVE Act push is all about.
So this is the one thing that Donald Trump could sign that would address affordability, would address cost of living issues, particularly in relation to housing. Donald Trump now refusing to sign it. It's more important to him to get his voter suppression bill, which Republican senators today told him he doesn't have enough Republican votes to pass in the Senate.
Right, and that's not hypothetical. That's evidence. We voted on the SAVE Act, different iterations of it over the last several months, and they keep coming up short. Not just short of the 60 votes to pass through regular order because of the filibuster. They don't even have 50 votes to pass it, because guess what? Even some Republicans care about vote by mail. Even some Republicans know it is wrong to demand the personal, private information of every voter on the rolls in states across the country. And by the way, this bill does more than just speak to elections. It wants to limit the rights of trans citizens in the United States of America. This Save America Act, supposed Save America Act, is a hodgepodge of Trump, of vindictive vendettas, and he's not going to get his way. We're going to keep fighting it tooth and nail.
So what Donald Trump was fighting for today, hopelessly, is to make voting more difficult and make housing more expensive. Has any other politician ever advocated both of those things at the same time?
Not that I can recall from either party, right? We know that for most Americans, the cost of health care is up, cost of gas is up, cost of your energy bills at home is up, cost of almost everything is up. And here we had a chance to do something to address the cost of housing. And Donald Trump, Mr. Reflection Pool himself, says, no, I want my SAVE Act.
Is the reflection pool a reflection of the overall incompetence of Donald Trump?
Yeah, he's like the reverse Midas touch. Everything he touches turns to you know what.
California Senator Alex Padilla, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Lawrence.